Elevated critical fire weather conditions are predicted to begin this evening and continue through Wednesday. These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County high.
Los Angeles County issuing new mandatory evacuation orders for people west of the Palisades fire near the coast. Meanwhile, to the north, several Southern California institutions already have been evacuated as the Eaton fire continues to grow, including NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Fire crews have been working to protect that campus, which runs dozens of missions, including the Mars Perseverance rover. Our next guest, Jason Rhodes and Alina Kiessling, both worked there. Unfortunately, their home and many of those of their colleagues were destroyed in this fire. Jason, how much notice did you get? Were you under evacuation orders, and how did that process work out?
No, we didn't get very much notice at all. In fact, we knew that there was going to be a huge windstorm, and there was, of course, a fire risk given how dry everything was. And we knew before we went to bed that there was a fire in the area. And in fact, right before we went to bed, we took a picture of the glow of the fire off in the distance. But we continued through the night to monitor the threat, and we were never in an evacuation zone. But Alina, to her credit, said she really thought that we needed to get a bag ready. And I said, okay, let's get a bag ready. And then our power went out, and we had a battery, and I was worried that the battery would run out. And so I went to get the car out of the garage so that we'd be ready in case we had to evacuate. And in the 20 feet from the house to the garage, it was literally the worst hellscape I've ever walked through, howling winds and smoke. And I was covered in ash in just a 20-feet walk. And I walked back inside my house. I said to my wife and 3-year-old daughter, put on masks, no more packing. We're going right now. We got about a mile away before our phones buzzed and said mandatory evacuation. So it was all happened very quickly. And we were not able to get very much stuff together, but we escaped with our lives, which was the important thing.
Yeah, but your house apparently, Alina, is gone. How long until you found out what the situation was?
So we left our home around 3 a.m. And we found ourselves at Jason's sister's house, which was about 15 miles away, so on the edge of the evacuation zone. By about 5 a.m., we received an alert on our phones that our rear door burglar alarm had gone off. And initially, we were quite concerned that somebody was taking advantage of the evacuation and looting the houses. But within the next 4 minutes, every single alarm tripped in our house, and it just took 4 minutes for our house to burn to the ground. That's what we think.
Wow. The evacuation itself, I mean, it sounds like you were slightly ahead of the game, having made the decision even before you got the evacuation orders. But what was it like to try to, get on the road in your car in such a maelstrom, trying to drive out of there?
So a lot of our neighbors had evacuated earlier, but then there were others evacuating at the same time we were when it became clear that the situation was dire. So traffic was somewhat slow, but not terrible. And so we started to look for a hotel because, as I said, we had a 3-year-old daughter and we wanted to get her back to bed. And we looked at a number of hotels that were saying online that they had rooms, but we show up at each one and they didn't. And so finally, as Alina said, we went to my sister's house, but they were without power and just on the edge of the evacuation zone. So eventually we, by 7 a.m., we got back in the car and drove about 40 miles away to some friends that let us stay for a couple days. So overall, I think the evacuations were pretty orderly, partly because the community knew that with the windstorm and the very dry conditions that fires might be a problem, but I don't think anyone expected the widespread devastation. And we went back yesterday to see the remains of our house, and it's unrecognizable, our street, because all the houses on our street and neighboring streets are burnt to the ground and just unrecognizable.
Alina, we noted that you both work at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is not far away. Is that facility going to be safe, do you think?
So people have been working very hard at JPL to ensure that those world-class facilities are protected, and at this stage, I think that things are looking okay. But there are hundreds of people, if not more, within JPL who have been displaced and who have also lost their homes, just like us, friends and colleagues. And so, if there's if people want to support those of us at the JPL and Caltech sites, there is a JPL and Caltech disaster relief fund that, I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that would be very grateful for any support that people have in their hearts. We've already been overwhelmed by the community support and just very humbled by how much people care. But there's a lot of rebuilding to be done.
That's an understatement. Well, we are glad that you and your daughter are safe, at least. You can replace a house. It's not easy, but we wish you well going forward as this terrible tragedy continues to unfold. Jason Rhodes, Alina Kiessling, thank you both.
Thank you very much.
And you can join Fox's support of those families affected by the California wildfires. Your donation enables the Red Cross to respond to and help people recover from this terrible disaster. Visit go.fox/Red Cross to support these efforts, or you can also scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.